let's get into a topic that's going to fly right under the bus a little bit here. And when I say ride under the bus, I mean it's getting ran over by the bus. Like, this is just something that's not going to be on the focal point. I mean, it actually did make some headlines this past weekend, as I believe Blake Alderman, I think it was Blake Alderman, I think it was Blake, reported that the staff wasn't recruiting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just a telltale sign that they know they're done. This thing just isn't going to end well. I mean, whether we win or lose against Texas, I mean, we'll see how good Texas offense is. Ohio State's defense is very good.
Yeah.
They proved that against Washington. I mean, we saw it against Texas, look great. Like, Ohio State's offense is elite, and we've seen Arch struggle. But maybe the O-line isn't that bad, and Ohio State's D-line and linebackers are just that great where maybe they can still get enough push in the run game, especially with a battered Florida D-line, to where they can win this game like a 13-3 and like pretty comfortable 13-3 type of victory, if that makes any sense at all. But no, I mean, this recruiting is just the main problem with our recruiting right now is you're going to keep some players. I mean, look when Billy came here, Shamar James, like that's a player that stayed. I mean, who were some other players that stayed in our first recruiting class? Let me actually pull that up real quick. I mean,
I'm trying to remember.
Tony Livingston.
We lost a decent amount of these guys. Like, I think Bond was like the most notable one, right? Isaiah Bond.
Yep. Julian Humphrey. Or he decommitted earlier when we fired Grantham, I'm pretty sure. But
he decommitted like when things got bad, but it was before we actually fired Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but Shamar James, Chris McClellan actually committed like right after we fired Dan Mullen, before we even hired Napier. That was
remember that. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Jamari Lyons, that's been a program guy. Jalen Farmer, Miguel Mitchell, like the low 3-star guys, like some of them stayed. Like, so not many guys in that initial class, but there is a different factor in recruiting nowadays compared to just back 2021. NIL. A lot of players committed to Florida and whatever school they committed to because they have great relationships and stuff, but we probably have the best offer for them. And you look at our top 2 recruits. I can say for a fact we have the highest offer for David Gross. Now, I suspect Oklahoma is going to up their bag. I mean, Oklahoma had a really great weekend last week, and they got a couple big-time recruits, offensive linemen, high-paying guys. So I'm pretty confident Gross is going to flip to Oklahoma. I just know they're going to up the bag. But then also KJ Ford, our top 2 recruits being from Texas, does not help at all. Like, these aren't guys that are loyal to Florida. I mean, they might be loyal to the staff, which makes them loyal to Florida, but this staff is not going to be here. I mean, I'd love for Joe Hamilton to find a way to stay on the staff because he's been great for recruiting in Texas, but I just don't see that really happening. And I expect Gross and Ford to both be gone. I mean, our offer could stay the highest, and that could change things. I mean, Gross could also see we hire Lane Kiffin and be like, yo, I want to play under Lane Kiffin. Maybe Texas didn't up their offer and they find a way, but I kind of suspect other teams, as you get closer, further down the line, they will end up upping their bags and it just not being enough for Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that is working in your favor, if you're like in a situation like Florida is, where you have a recruiting class together, but you're about to make a coaching change, is that especially when it's this late in the cycle. I mean, in the past, it was like, coach gets fired. Hey, you're a 5-star, you're a high 4-star. Every program in the country is going to come calling. And I'm not saying that's not the case, but it's not quite that simple anymore because there's literal budgets. You know what I mean? Like, if other schools have a full class, they can't necessarily just be like, hey, here's a couple $100,000 or whatever the going rate is for that particular guy. Like, here's an extra couple bands, that we have, that isn't necessarily how it works anymore. But I mean, with that being said, you are definitely going to lose some guys. And I mean, the reason why Diego is basically kind of what I just said, I think, the guys have signed contracts, they have deals in place. And ultimately, like Tyler said, it might be the most money they were offered. So I don't know what their alternative is.
Yep. Neil, we'll get into our Miami we'll get into game predictions later on in the show, but yeah. I think I know who we're both going to pick after seeing Friday night. But then you look at our next 2 recruits. I think this could be a spot where we could shine. CJ Bronell, 4-star corner, 108. I think he's someone who said he's locked in. I mean, they say they're locked in all the time. But Central Florida kid. I mean, I feel like we're going to end up being able to keep him. Well, I mean, FSU, I know they finished second, or they were also trying to flip him. I'm pretty sure he was on FSU's campus before he flipped to Florida, like that week or something. But I think Bronell's someone we could keep. I mean, NIL plus like he's from near Orlando area. Like it's hard to project, but I think him, Kendall Gervil, I know for a fact he's a really big bag from Florida. We beat out Texas for him. That kind of says all you need to know about us winning a defensive line recruit right there. So, also he had that injury. He suffered an ACL injury, so maybe he has a lot less pressure on him from other schools because of it. Like someone I could see us keeping, Will Griffin. He's a Gator. Like unless the new coach doesn't want him, he will be a Gator. And then you continue going on. Who are other players? I mean, Malik Morris out of Lakeland. Like Florida's pretty good of Lakeland. CJ Hester has just been a Gator this entire time. Like I don't see that really changing no matter the coach. Chancellor Campbell, Janari Carr. I think both Javari Lucas. Like as long as the new coach wants them. I mean, I like Carr and Campbell, so that'll be pretty nice pickups for the new staff.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially when you get to like, guys like Lucas, like the lower rated guys. I mean, it's not like, there's going to be teams necessarily.
Hey, USF's calling though.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. No, but I mean, I think, I think those are guys you could retain. I mean, I think a lot of it just depends on who you hire for a few different reasons. I mean, if you go get a Lane Kiffin type coach, that's going to carry with it some excitement. I mean, a proven SEC head coach, especially these offensive recruits. I think there's going to be something appealing with that. So you might have a chance to keep some of those guys, but also, he might be taking some of his guys. He's going to have to determine, how many of these guys he wants to keep when you also have to, take guys in the portal, potentially bring guys with him in the portal, whoever it is. I mean, especially I think that's true if it's Lane, but whoever it is.
Yeah. I mean, I also forgot to mention Justin Williams right out of Gainesville. But something, if it's Lane Kiffin, Jaraylin McCoy is someone he's recruited a lot, so they already have a relationship there. Like, that's someone he could possibly keep. And then also, Tyler Chuckium, Ole Miss, he was going to commit to Florida, or Ole Miss if he didn't get the green light from Florida. So that's another spot where he already has that relationship built there. So if the hire is Lane Kiffin, then I think there's a good chance we can keep a good amount of this class set. I know names like Marquez Daniel. He might be I know he went to Miami. Miami's trying to push to flip him. I can see that one happening. A name that could be interesting under Lane Kiffin, Hezzy Kent. Could you imagine Hezzy Kent just with Lane Kiffin?
I mean, I almost feel like you got to treat him like JJ Pegues. Like do that.
Yep, that's what someone suggested the other day to me.
Yeah,
just put Hezzy Kent in the Wildcat formation. Like, has the mobility and the size there, so. That's something that could go pretty well. What are the odds Kakua Amula sticks? That's the one everyone's asking.
Is that the one everyone's asking?
Does our tight end from Hawaii stick?
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely think those guys probably have a better chance of sticking. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on how ruthless, and I don't even say that with like a negative connotation. It just is kind of ruthless. Like, if you come in and tell all these like 3-star guys, like, hey, your offer is no longer committable or whatever, or signable, to what extent that happens, I don't know. I mean, it definitely does happen to an extent. I kind of doubt it happens like in mass, but there will probably be a couple guys. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't really have a lot of particular insight with like any specific player, but I mean, I think, look, if you make a Lane hire, if you hire Lane or like a Lane level hire, which I would say would be like also like Freeman or something like that. If you make a hire to that degree, I think you don't really have to worry about the personnel being good. Like you're going to have talent on the roster next year.
So something I wanted to check, but I can't find anywhere. Who's coming to the Florida Texas game? I know Elijah Haven was one that was set to be coming. I mean, a lot's changed since the preseason. And this was supposed to be a huge weekend for us.
What could have possibly changed in the last few weeks?
The weather.
Yeah.
I mean, weathering the storm. I mean, hey, Sam's saying it right here. Dallas Wilson's going to be the guy to get DJ back on track and save the next freshman to save Billy's job. He's going to help us score at least.
Maybe.
Maybe he'll help us score.
I mean, Vernell Brown is the best
get the
receiver
ball
on the
to
field.
Wilson?
I mean, Vernell Brown's the best receiver on the field right now, and I'm not sure I'd say he's really helping us score. So,
yeah, it's just like if Lagway can't get them the ball, then what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there is going to be a list, like, or any recruits going to be at this game. Like, I wonder what the list for Arkansas was this past weekend.
There was. I found an early visitor. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, I mean, it looks like they're having a couple guys.
A couple.
I'm trying to find it.
But
looks like Gervil, maybe Gervil. And
I know, like, I mean, some of our commits, like guys that come to the game, like the local kids, like a Carr, Campbell, Gervil, Williams. I mean, I would hope Justin Williams comes to this game. I mean, maybe he goes up to Tuscaloosa to watch them play Vanderbilt, but like, I mean, no, there is Miami, Florida State this weekend, so that's a game that could steal a lot of the in-state talent.
That's true.
Of these Florida kids. You're sorry. Is there any other names? Not like it. I wonder if Haven's still. I would.
So this is a paywalled article, but it looks like, so I can't read it. But what it looks like from the ones I can see, it looks like Bronow, Gervil, and Gross are going to be there.
Oh, okay. I mean, as I pointed out earlier, Chris McClellan, a guy that committed to Florida right after Dan Mullen was fired. And those two things are not the reason he committed is because Mullen was fired. But, you know, he liked the Florida logo. We beat out, I think, Oklahoma kid, also Oklahoma. So, you know, that was a pretty impressive recruitment there from the Scott Strickland, the AD, of course.
Yeah.
But, no, it's going to be tough to keep track of recruiting from now until signing day because who's the coach going to be?
Yeah.
No one knows. And money, it just makes everything so wonky.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, honestly, we're just at the point where recruiting is not something you can even be thinking about because, I mean, they're probably going to be making a change here in the next at least 2 weeks, I would probably say.
Solid chance.
And yeah, and then like, I mean, it's just, yeah, it just depends on who the coach is. It depends on the timeline. I mean, because that's the thing. Like we were just saying, you know, Lane making the playoff doesn't necessarily mean you can't do it if they like lose in the first round. That would kind of complicate things for the early signing period though. So, you know, it is kind of a question of just timing in terms of what can you salvage here and which of these guys stay. So, you know, we'll just see. But I mean, I think this is kind of the downside of, you know, when you have to do a coaching change, you know, he's built a pretty solid class. It's not great, but it's solid and probably just can't bank on it staying that way, or at least staying that way with the current guys that are committed.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the Arkansas. I mean, because Virginia Tech and UCLA, like, they just don't have kids at that level that really. I mean, UCLA had a decent class and all of them was like left right away. I think that's a little bit different of a situation because all those kids were also from Florida, or like it was a really weird situation there for UCLA. But I mean, we'll see. It's too early. Like Arkansas has 3 4-stars. None of them have decommitted yet. They've lost some 3-stars, but it's also been one day. So that'll be something we kind of figure out later on down the road.
I mean, yeah, Rob, I mean, yeah, you don't not make a decision because you're worried about punting on one high school class.
Oh no.
But it's just, it's not that big of a deal in the long run. It's just kind of like Billy's transition class. There's just not, you can't expect too much here because you're just, whatever it's going to be throwing things together really last second.
You know, and it's also with other coaches getting fired, like kids will be able to get out if they sign with the team. Like, we're using Ole Miss here. Like, that's our best example, really, because, I mean, or Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. Like, if we're using those two, like, they have plenty of pretty good recruits as well that are committed to them that if Lane Kiffin or Marcus Freeman leave, those guys will have the opportunity as well to follow him.
Yeah.
So you can still get those recruits, and there'll be recruits that don't sign on early signing day. I mean,
yeah. Increasingly few, like every year that don't, but there's still a handful.
Yeah,
And also,
there's
wait, as we've learned, there's nothing binding. You can just
yeah.
leave now. So like
Shout
Dallas
out
Wilson
Dallas
did,
Wilson.
you
Yeah.
can just shout out Dallas Wilson. You can just leave. So
And also with the transfer portal now being moved back to January, early
yeah,
January, that yeah, you can't really make your head coaching decision based on that.
That's why I say the
So
portal is not really a problem if they make the playoff and lose early. But like if they were to make a run to the national championship game, that becomes a bit of a problem.
yeah.